orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, but
Yeah, Aditya sir has a lot. She's the camera.
oh,
Hi. Can we trade with Kacha?
okay.
Smile. You will do that sleep? Then you forgot to.
Retinal. No.
This is my job. are first. Yes, sir. Yeah. Answer is correct. 4 zeros are 0. 0 plus this will go at the last. Right? And this will be. Yes, sir. By means of Ma'am, when you were in college, you were very good in music, right?
Linda, and what is this?
Ma'am, they have on the video.
Let's play that game.
The number.
That's a band. It's a ring.
How can it be the number? 12 is the question. And this is related to the other side.
You know that is wrong.
That is wrong, like actually wrong.
How many colors are there in the rainbow? According to their life.
Please tell me.
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, many communities around us. Every sense and neighborhood, the people in our family make up our family unit. Every
Where is the rabbit? The scooter is scooter. Where is the scooter? Man. No, the girl.
Little bit is correct.
I got confused.
No, sir. So these are the femurs, and these should be here.
Okay.
Let's my friend. Highest common factor of people, which is largest force, it help us some push. We can use the symbols of
boxes and these lights with straws. My father agreed to make this project. Now I'm going to be just right out the straw. The red light means to stop. The yellow light means the baby lights.
Your second question is how many years are there in such a person?
Always walk on a footpath.
There are 100 years. Here I have used some simple things like straw, lemon, and a piece of plastic bottle. Straw acts as jelly, two buttons inside the bottle acts as lungs, and the buttons below the bottle acts as diaphragm. When the diaphragm flattens, the lungs close, and when the diaphragm contracts, the lungs flattens. This is how our lungs work along with diaphragm. Thank you.
Congratulations, your answer is Adi. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
एक गलत है इसीलिए अगर सारे मिले अगर सारे से लौटे तो दो मिले
Properties of air, right? So can you please tell me some properties of air? Fine. So today you are about to do the orientation, right? So your objective is to check that air exhaust pressure. Can you explain this?
Explain it through an experiment.
Thank you. By giving that space, can you tell which property of David, Vinayak, or no? Sorry, this is. So, ma'am, the question is, how many boys are there in a human infant?
This much will be 1 centimeter square. And if we take this much, and if we take this much, there are 2 buttons, so it will be 2 centimeters square. So can you keep the buttons for first pick the rectangle and
today?
Correct.
Should I count this one?
Except for the top one comprises two halves divided by a diagonal line. The first square of the rod holds a single liquid jewel, so on until the last square contains 9 times this number. 9 times this number in the top square. If we cannot measure anything right, this is one of the great reasons on the these are called staircases. Many staircases as you can see, the staircase on the ceiling, it makes it easier to count from one mathematical to
प्रदूषण, वायु प्रदूषण, जल प्रदूषण, रेडियोधर्मी और आज हम आपको कुछ मुख्य प्रदूषण के बारे में बताने जा रहे हैं। वायु प्रदूषण अर्थात हवा में ऐसे अवांछित गैसों, धूल के कणों की उपस्थिति जो लोगों तथा प्रकृति दोनों के लिए खतरे के कारण बन जाए। दूसरे शब्दों में कहें तो यह प्रदूषण अर्थात दूषित होना या गंदा होना वायु प्रदूषण के अवांछित रूप है।
Eine Software genommen. Jetzt war todo
सब मिलाएर हुन्छ है basic skill. Yeah, teaching the basic skill in school they can learn.
Healthy one demo.
Play the plant shell. Play the plant shell.
No, so easy honor.
2 videos are also there.
So also get
And last video is also there. Play the last video. Play now. You can play.
Correct.
In here. Do it again.
त्यो अस्ति नै हजुरले भनिदिनु पर्ने सर त्यो त अब उहाँले हामीलाई
Principal Ma'am, Senior Coordinator Ma'am, distinguished guests, teachers, dear parents, guardians, and well-wishers. A very good afternoon to everyone present here. My name is Shira Ringmi from grade 9 first yes.
And my name is Avanti Prakash from grade 9 Orali. Today, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. As always, your school, one of the premium progressive schools in Nepal, has organized the annual open house today, and we hope you are going to collect a great deal of information on the International Primary Curriculum IPC, 3DI New Zealand, and the overall growth of the students and the school during the academic year 2018-19 to 19. We would also like to inform all of you that one of our guests, Miss Pratima Gurung, is absent because of her flight has been delayed.
Before proceeding further, we would like to welcome our special guest, Miss Blackmore. Now I would like to request Principal Ma'am and Vice Principal Ma'am to honor our guests with a shash and a bouquet. Let's welcome them.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So without further delay, please allow me to begin. Ma'am, distinguished guests, teachers, parents, and guardians, a cordial welcome. My name is Avanti Prakash. Today, I am obliged to have received this opportunity to co-host the program and deliver a welcome speech on behalf of my fellow students at your school. It just seems yesterday when I joined your kids like a reluctant caterpillar when my parents dropped me at the gate of your kids. And then time just soared by. It has been 12 years since I stepped with my 3-year-old feet on the premises of your kids. I'm now in grade 9. When in your kids, I was not mature enough to think that one day I would be speaking on behalf of the students. But now, I'm mature enough to think and say that my parents made the best decision 12 years ago. Your kids always provided me with all the necessary love and nurture that a child would need in order to grow and develop. It provided me with different activities and exciting classes that would make me thrilled and curious to learn new things. As a child, I always felt a sense of comfort at your kids. I spent just a couple of years at your kids. However, the teachers, friends, and the learning will always remain unforgettable in my life. As of now, at your school, my interest in academia has been well nurtured, and all the while, I have definitely had a lot of fun. I'm I'm really grateful to the school and teachers for the vast knowledge and passion that my teachers possess for their respective subjects. Furthermore, to meet the needs of all types of learners, our well-trained teachers use a wide range of audiovisual aids and teaching strategies like projects, group work, PowerPoint presentation, interviews, field trips, national and international excursions, role play, modeling, lecture, peer teaching, quiz, hands-on learning, debate, and so on. Our teachers leave no stone unturned to make us improve all the skills required in the 21st century. Your school has provided me with every possible platform and opportunity to realize my potential. Because of this, I have been successful to project an image of strong leadership. For example, I finished first in the school storytelling competition, stood second in the 800-meter race of the Quality Kathmandu School Athletic Competition, been the Student of the Year, and also the Vice Captain of Zeus House. Besides these, I have represented my school in different inter-school quiz contests, basketball tournaments, spelling contests, extemporary, to name but a few. Your school emphasizes not only academics, but also co-curricular activities for the all-round development of students. So apart from studies, students can build up their confidence by indulging in co-curricular facilities offered like basketball, futsal, swimming, dance, music, art and craft, skating, table tennis, theater, yoga, etc. Hence, my life outside the classroom is equally rich and rewarding. Such activities will surely help us carve out different careers for ourselves. People often say, and you must have heard it too, a school is your second home. This statement was only a statement until this school proved it to me and gave it a meaning. Your school proved to be my new home and family. The thought of ending my journey at your school next year, after grade 10, fills my heart with sorrow. Thank you, Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Srijana, for my holistic development in my second home. And of course, all the teachers who have loved me like their own child and helped me develop into who I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Avanti, for sharing your wonderful experience and achievements with us. It is not only inspiring, but also worth sharing. Now, it's time to introduce to you our very special guest. She is Miss Sarah Blackmore. Sarah Blackmore, currently the head of the International Outreach and the Development, has globally responsibility for the international curriculum, programs, and services. Before joining film work, she had managed her own education company in China for 5 years, where she created a comprehensive comprehensive series of curriculums for young Chinese people and delivered a series of training courses for Chinese kindergarten teachers in Belgium. Following an honors degree at the University of Oxford, Sarah went on to complete postgraduate studies in teaching both children and adults, specializing in English, literacy, disability, learning difficulties, and has gained extensive experience in pedagogical theory and practice through a varied career teaching in all phases of education, both in UK and overseas. Sarah previously had worked with the Department of Education in UK, developing national policies and curriculum in Germany as a special need coordinator in kindergarten and primary school, and provided consultancy related to adult literacy in Hungary. With an extensive experience in curriculum innovation and professional development project with non-government agencies in the UK and the globe, she is published author of learning material and reading resources for children. Sarah's work and careers in education has continually changed learning and teaching strategies in support of empowering and enabling individuals. She firmly believes that everyone can achieve more than they perceive, develop lasting sense of self-worth, and enhance their personal lives with a lifelong learning. May I request ma'am to proceed to the stage for the presentation?
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you all for coming. It's a real pleasure to be here, and thank you for inviting me to Euro School. I've actually just travelled over from Singapore, where it's incredibly hot. So arriving here, it felt like I was back in the UK. So I'm really pleased that you were able to come out in the rain, because I know it can put a lot of people off. And it's a real honour to be here. I work for Fieldwork Education. Fieldwork Education have 3 curriculum programmes. I'm going to tell you about the company, I'm going to tell you about the primary programme, which is called the International Primary Curriculum, or the IPC, because that's what Euro School will be implementing. Some of you are sitting right at the back, and you probably think that it's quite good to sit at the back because you don't get picked on. But I have to warn you that I tend to move around quite a bit. So just because you're sitting right at the back doesn't mean you're safe. Okay? So, who are Fieldwork Education? We're a company that works across the world. We actually started in the UK as a consultancy. We started nearly 20 years ago now with the IPC, but we have a global reach. We work across 98 different countries. We have member schools in all of those, and those schools deliver one or all of our 3 curriculum programmes. In total in the schools, we cover around 15,000 teachers who we help to train and we professionally develop. And goodness knows how many students go through the programmes each year. This is us, 3 programmes. We have an early years programme for kindergartens, we have a primary programme, which is the one now being implemented here in Euro School, and we have a middle years programme, which I know Euro School is perhaps looking at as the next step. And these programmes are what we call international education programmes. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that means and how it fits. Now, when I first learned about Euro School, I saw this wonderful photograph on the website, and I saw the great slogan that the philosophy of Euro School, one of its principles, is it's about competing with yourself. Now, when I was at school, and that was quite a long time ago, and I'm sure when some of you were at school, it wasn't about competing with yourself. It was about competing with the other people in the classroom. It was about competing with what the national government said you had to achieve in terms of grades. I'm sure that when you went home, you were asked by your parents continually, what did you learn today? How many words? What maths? And I'm sure as parents, you don't ask your children any of those questions, do you? So, no? We still ask our children those things. We still say when they come home from school, what did you learn today? And I can almost guarantee that most of your children will probably say, not much. What did you do today at school? Not much. Was it good? It's okay. Now, my children said it because what we're not doing as parents is we're not always asking the right questions. And we're not always thinking about what is it that children are really learning. Not what is it that the national government says they should learn. Not what is it that universities say they have to learn. Not what is it that our neighbour says their child is learning and my child isn't, and therefore my child's being left behind. But what are they really learning and how are they learning it? Now, some of those things are really important. Obviously, we need to follow what our national governments say we need to learn. And that comes through the national curriculum. And schools here in Nepal, like schools in other countries in the world, have to deliver the national curriculum. But it doesn't mean that there aren't different ways to deliver some of that learning. And in fact, I've witnessed today, I'm sure some of you walked around with students showing their activities, I've witnessed time and time again students engaged in their learning, doing some active learning. And this is what the IPC really promotes. And this is why I firmly believe that the IPC is an excellent fit for the philosophy of Euroschool. Because Euroschool is looking at how you can compete with yourself, how you can achieve your personal best. Yeah? If I jumped high in the high jump yesterday, don't ask me how high I jumped. Ask me what can I do to jump higher. And what do I need to help me to do that? Because that's about improving myself. It's about understanding what I'm achieving, what my next step is, and how I might get there. So personal best learning, philosophy of the school, and it's an approach that the IPC follows. Now, when we first developed the International Primary Curriculum, almost 20 years ago actually, we were set the task of doing some research across the world about things that were common in different curriculum frameworks. But one of the things that was really, really important was to think about, actually, these children, we're not preparing them for today's world. We're preparing them for the world that they will be in when they're adults. Now there's a thought. We're preparing children now for a world that they will be working in as adults. It's not our world. And what does that mean we have to think about? What will the world be like? Often we say to children, what would you like to do when you grow up? I asked one young lady this morning, what would you like to be? And she said, an artist. Wow, great, what type of artist? So she talked to me a little bit about being an artist. But have you thought about what the world will be like for these children in, let's say, 10 years' time? Let's 2028, 2029. What is going to be different in that world? What sort of jobs are they going to be? What sort of skills are those children going to need as adults? Any thoughts? Any thoughts about how it will be different in 2028? And this is where I'm moving up the stairs, and people will try not to look at me in case I ask them. But sir, you look like you've got a thought. What will be different in 2028?
There will be lots of different procedure. Everything will be changed.
Thank you. So technology, you'll be hearing a little bit about use of technology in schools, but technology will change things. It will change things. In 10 years' time, what might be different? What will be different? Maybe cars? Yeah. If I say in Singapore at the moment, they're test driving a driverless car. A car with no driver. Okay? I'm not going in one. I'd rather have a taxi driver. But they're driving it now. So cars with no drivers, that might be different. What other things might be different in 10 years' time?
They will be buying taxis.
Wow. Now, I was looking on one of the activities, and one of the road, I did ask him if his father was a good driver, and he said he was. But if we had flying taxis, or cars with no drivers, isn't that going to change everything about the rules of the road? About the sorts of skills we need? And what about the people who build those cars? Just think about what sort of skills they're going to need. That you can now 3D print food. Haven't tried it, but who's going to do the coding for that software? Who's going to make the printers? Where is that going to come from? If we're printing through 3D, what happens to all those lorry drivers who deliver things, because we won't need them anymore. So many things could be very different. Absolutely, please.
I believe like in 10 years down the line, there would be a lot of things that would be changed. Of course, the IT and digital platform would make the life really easy, but at the same time, it will bring a lot of challenges on the people who will be on that generation, especially to the younger generation who's coming up. I believe they will have a very tough time because things are changing very fast. If you ask me like what's gonna be like in 10 years down the line, I think it's a very hard question to answer because the way things are changing and moving, it's really fast. It's really fast. And I personally believe, it's my personal belief that the next generations were up for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line. So we think like those generations should be very open-minded. They should be able to see the things in a holistic way. So yeah, I think you have to change yourself, basically. Be open to the change, more dynamic. So I think that would be helpful for people.
Thank you so much, sir. What you were saying there was what we really need to be thinking about is the challenge to our young people and the sorts of skills that they're going to need. And you mentioned some of them. You talked about communication skills, different types of communication skills. You talked about resilience, being able to adapt to different things and adapt quickly. As things are changing so quickly, it's still important that we know what our values are and what they should be, that we don't lose sight of those. So there's a really very interesting video available which takes a look at not sure it will be me. What does that mean for our young people today? Gentlemen mentioned some of them, but let's just think about what they are. Certainly cognitive skills. They're the ones that we all know about in schools. They're things that help us think. But they go a bit deeper in thinking. It's not just about getting the knowledge, it's about being able to think critically about the knowledge, about not just problem solving, but problem finding, asking questions, being creative, interpersonal skills. How will we communicate with people? Already we see issues of technology stopping person-to-person communication. What skills do we need to develop to deal with that? Collaboration, working globally. What does that mean for leadership? And what about motivation? How do we keep our learners motivated? They want to learn how to learn, and they're able to direct their own learning. Well, these are all the questions that were asked when the IPC was first designed. And it uses what's called a backwards design to its curriculum, which means that it is completely learning-centred. So instead of saying, what qualifications do we want at the end of it, it starts with, what do we want our children to learn? What do they need to learn to equip them properly when they're adults? And once we've decided about what kind of world they're growing up in, what kind of children we want them to be, and that's not just about the knowledge and the skills they're learning, but it means about their attitude, their values, their beliefs, their relationships with each other. What areas of learning are there? What kinds of learning experiences do we want them to have? Once we've made those decisions, then we can say, how do we assess that? Now, normally what happens in curriculum and what will happen in national curriculums is it goes the other way round. It says, what is it we want at the end? What tests are we going to give? Therefore, what are we going to teach? So the IPC flips that design. And it's what's called a backward design. And what it means is that it can be really focused on the actual learning. So in the IPC, we have 3 types of learning goals. Normally in a curriculum, you'd have 1, which would be your subject learning goals. What are you going to learn in history? What are you going to learn in geography? What are you going to learn in science? In the IPC, we have 3 types. We have the subject learning goals. We also have personal learning goals that looks at a set of 8 characteristics that we want to develop in children. And we have a set of goals that are about international mindedness. And that's about starting at a young age, it's about understanding who you are as a person, what your identity is, who you are in relation to your family, in relation to your friends, who you are in relation to your community, who you are in relation to your country, your national identity, and who you are in relation to the global world. Because just about every one of those young people out there are going to be working globally when they grow up. So there are 3 areas of learning goals that will be covered through the IPC. And within those learning goals, we break them down even further, and we talk about knowledge, skills, and understanding. So in our subject goals, we have knowledge goals. What is it we want to know? We have skills goals, what can you do? And we have understanding goals. And they're very transparent, and the students themselves will know and be able to talk about what they're learning in terms of knowledge, what they're learning to do in terms of a skill, and how they're developing their understanding. And this is really, really crucial. And it's one thing that I noticed again this morning, walking around the activities. How many of you have gone around the activities and talked to the children? Nobody. Oh, one person. Yeah, more than one person. How many of you? How many of you have gone around? Okay. The children have been fantastic this morning, haven't they? Yeah? What they've done is they've given a lot of knowledge. They've demonstrated a lot of knowledge. But how much were they demonstrating skill? And how much were they demonstrating understanding? And how do we know? Well, one of the things that I do when I went around was ask them questions. And it's very clear that their knowledge is very strong. But as soon as you start to just go a little deeper, maybe not so sure. So the approach of the IPC, the International Primary Curriculum, the work that it does is it goes to that deeper level. And what you'll find is it's not just about what I know, being able to tell you what they know, but being able to talk about it, to ask questions about it, to think about it, to be able to develop skills and apply that knowledge to other situations. So the young children that were showing me that light refracted, I don't know if anybody else saw that, they showed you the straw and said, how did it look? And then the young boy did a magic trick and made the coin disappear in class. Great, and it was wonderful to hear him talk about it. But you know, I wanted to go deeper. And what I wanted to really say was, so how is that what happens in the real world? Where do we see that? Where is that happening around us? Why is that knowledge important? Why is it useful to us? The IPC helps dig that deeper level, and it takes children through from knowledge, skills and understanding. So there's a short video here that just looks at the way the learning goals work in the IPC to help explain what we've just been talking about.
The IPC has a simple but comprehensive learning structure. Everything is based on clearly defined subject, personal and international learning goals. The learning goals are split into knowledge, skills and understanding, and help teachers to focus on the most appropriate learning processes, teaching strategies and assessments.
For me, the positives of teaching IPC is the engagement for the kids. They get really excited about the new topics. For us, all of our topics have been linked together. So we've had scavengers and settlers, we've had saving the world.
The subject learning in the IPC is organised around carefully selected themes. Themes such as chocolate reflects the interest of children in this age range and motivates them to find out more. The IPC personal goals underpin those individual qualities and learning dispositions we believe children will find essential in the 21st century.
The thing that I love about the IPC are the personal learning goals. I really like the way that they help mould a child into a holistic approach to education. Learning within the classroom is always collaborative and requires children to communicate and cooperate together. These are skills that they don't just need in the classroom, they need in the playground and in future life as well.
The IPC is unique in defining international learning goals that help young children begin the move towards an increasingly sophisticated, national, international, global and intercultural perspective through developing a sense of international mindedness.
I feel like it helped us in a way because it's giving us like a further step in our like knowledge and our skills and our understanding of the world around us and like the entire universe sometimes.
So we're looking at different types of learning goals. We're looking at knowledge, skills and understanding. How does the curriculum itself actually work? Well, the IPC is broken down into what we call units of learning. Each unit is a theme. It's an umbrella theme that covers a range of subjects. There are 130 different units to choose from. Schools don't do them all. They pick the ones that are most suitable to their context. Now here where you're running IPC alongside national curriculum, it's really important that the school is choosing and selecting the units that will fit well with the national curriculum requirements. And that's what we support schools to do. The programme is split into what we call 3 mileposts. So you may hear this language being used. Milepost 1 really covers grade 1. Milepost 2 covers your grades 2 and 3. And milepost 3 covers your grades 4 and 5. And each milepost is a different set of units. So children will be doing something different each time. A unit of learning can last between 4 weeks, some units go on for 11 weeks. Okay, it depends on the topic and on the theme. And there are lots of different ones to choose from. Each unit of learning requires an active approach. So here's one unit, it's from milepost 2, and it's one of the favourites because it's all about chocolate. But what is it really about? What do children actually do? The picture you're seeing here is actually a school in Singapore. It's Dover Court International School, and it's a photograph I took because what happens at the IPC is parents are very much involved. There's always what we call an entry point to a unit, when parents are invited to understand what the children are going to learn. Information sent to you about what's been covered and what's been learned. And then the children go through the learning process, and at the end of the unit, there's what we call an exit point. And that's a little bit like today. It's when you might be invited in, and the children will start to show you and demonstrate and talk about what they've learned. And that's what the children are doing here. They come to the exit point for chocolate, and their parents and their grandparents and friends were invited in. But what was really being covered in this unit about chocolate? How does it work? Well, as you can see here, in history, children were looking at the discovery of chocolate, why chocolate was discovered, how the attitudes have changed to it. In geography, it was looking at the different countries that are involved and how they're affected, the economic impact on them, as well as the environmental impact on them. In art, they were looking at wrappers for chocolate bars and designing and coming up with their artwork to make and design a package for chocolate. And in science, they were looking and doing experiments around how a solid can become a liquid. In fact, somebody was looking at that today. How heating and cooling can affect things, the different temperatures of melting. So within that one topic, this is the way that the different subjects fit into the topic. It's very clear to children, whether they're doing history, geography, science, those subjects are still very evident and very obvious, but they're doing it within an umbrella topic. Now, why do we do this? It's because it helps children to connect their learning. It gives it relevance. You know, they're not just doing a history lesson on one thing, and then the bell goes, and then they rush off to their science lesson, and they're doing something completely different. And then the bell goes, and they rush off to their geography lesson, and they're doing something completely different again. Having a theme like this helps connect their learning from one subject to the next. And research proves that that is a much more effective way for children actually to learn. And this is why we have a systematic learning process, and this is something that you will become very familiar with. As I said, we start with an entry point, when the unit's introduced, the theme's introduced, and sometimes you'll be invited in to participate in that. We then go on to what we call a knowledge harvest, and that's all about what do the children already know about this, and what do they want to know about it, getting them to ask questions. Then we go on to explaining the big picture, explaining the theme. You know, if you have a jigsaw puzzle, it's very difficult to do if you haven't got the picture that you're meant to be making. But how often in schools do we give children all the different pieces, but we never show them the big picture that we're expecting them to put together? So right at the beginning, the big picture, the theme is explained. Children are talked to and they understand what they're going to learn. They ask questions about what they want to find out about. There are then set activities where they do some research, they find out about things, and then they record those and they present them, helping their understanding, and then they demonstrate their learning through an exit point.
We launch every IPC unit with an exciting and creative entry point. The aim is to get children thinking about and engaged with the learning that's to follow. Recently, we looked at rainforests in the unit Saving the World. We helped children create a rainforest in the classroom. They used all sorts of materials and sound effects to create this brilliant rainforest experience. After they went home, we destroyed it. They were so angry, but there was nothing like it to get them passionate about saving the rainforests and engaged in their learning. The knowledge harvest is a chance for me to find out what children already know about the theme. So I set them off to work on collaborative mind maps. They think and talk about what they know, but also what they'd like to find out. They write their ideas on different post-its and displays, so I can then personalise what I teach to their needs and interests. The children add to the mind map throughout the unit, so I constantly adapt what and how I teach to answer their curiosities. I then spend some time explaining the theme, so they have the big picture of the unit before it launches. You wouldn't give children the pieces of a jigsaw before you give them the final picture. Explaining the theme is that picture. As we talk about the theme, I help the children make connections between the subjects. Each subject area has planned research activities designed to make sure that children can access information in a way that works for them. They're experiential and exploratory. For the rainforest theme, we went to the local museum to look at fossilised plants and animals. They also went into the library and used the internet to research the companies and campaigns that are working towards saving the rainforest. We also wrote questionnaires to send home and into the community. Some ways of researching are collaborative. Others are designed to develop individual inquiry and resilience, and therefore help to embed and develop the IPC personal goals. The recording activities help children to process and present their research in ways that tap into their different strengths and interests. For instance, one group of children loved to paint, so they painted a Save the Rainforest campaign poster. We hung it on the school entrance. Some other children used music and technology to create a digital rainforest. Other recording activities might involve learning through drama, maps, graphs, experiments or artwork. The exit point completes every unit. It helps children to draw on their learning and reflect on the connections between subjects, developing multiple perspectives of the theme they've been learning about. For the rainforest theme, we put on a play in assembly about the rainforest and what we can do to save it. We used it as an excellent chance to engage with the community, so we invited parents, guardians and carers to watch too. The process is really inspiring and exciting for each unit. The children love it.
So that's the process of learning, and every unit of learning follows that process. So children become really familiar with it, and they'll be able to talk about it. So when you ask what they've done at school, they'll be able to talk about where they are at in their process of learning. Now, there's a lot you can do as parents to support this and help it. And the IPC produces some support materials. I know the school will support you as well. But things, how to talk to your child, what sort of questions to ask them to actually talk about learning. Things that you can say that will help their motivation and their engagement. Support for you and what you can do at home. And things that you can help in them developing an international mindedness, understanding who they are, what their identity is, what their connection with their community and their place in the world. And we mentioned personal learning goals, and there are 8 personal learning goals in the IPC. And again, this is a photograph from a school with an exit point. And I always think it's really interesting to look at a photograph, because what are we really looking at? What is it that you can see in that photograph? Mum, what can you see in the photograph? Thank you. So it's something different, you said. When you say different to what? Than what you did as a child at school? More active? Yeah? What else can you see in that photograph? Exhibition, showing things, explaining things. Yeah. You see children working together, children collaborating, children supporting each other. Can you see children actually having a bit of thinking, maybe inquiring, looking to see how something works? So actually we can see quite a lot in a photograph. Now, our 8 skills, personal learning goals, are cooperation, resilience, morality, adaptability, inquiry, thoughtfulness, and communication. And I actually think we can see a lot of those in that photograph. And this is where you as parents can be particularly helpful. So let's just think what we mean by some of those things. Respect, knowing that different people and different living things in the environment have different needs. Resilience, able to stick at something, not giving up, having another go. Thoughtfulness, using my thinking skills to solve problems, cooperating, working with other people. Now, you've all got mobile phones. Yes? You've got your mobile phones on you? No? Yeah, so. Right, usually in these things we say, please put your mobile phones away, but I'm going to ask you to take your mobile phones out, please. Please take your mobile phone out and turn to your photographs. Because I would like to guarantee that there will be quite a lot of photographs on there of your children. Yes? So please turn to a photograph of your children, of your child, and have a look at it and think about, does that photograph demonstrate my child showing one of these characteristics? Have a look. So I'm going to ask you to share it. Also, turn to your photos page. Anyone got one they would like to share? Yes, ma'am? I think you've got one there. No photo of your child? Yes. So, have a look at the photo. Yeah, why did you take which photo is it? Oh, we've got one here. Oh, great. So we've got a photo here of a child hanging. Would you like to just explain what the photo is and why you took that photo?
It's the photo from outdoor adventure, outdoor adventure, OAC, right? I took him there for some extra fun activities.
Okay, and why did you take this particular photograph?
For memory, I took him there and he had so much fun.
Okay,
and
so
also learned something new.
Okay, so actually what you took there was evidence of some new learning. Yeah. Which of these skills do you think he was using? Which of these things? Maybe some resilience, just trying new things, not giving up, having another go. Yes? Yeah? Anybody else like to share something on their phone? Sir? Yeah? Got so many photos here, you can't choose one.
It's my son, he's in Malaysia, he's learning so many things about different birds. He's near to Butter Cave. There is there's some different birds, and our kids, so my kids really enjoy it, and we learn so many things about that.
Okay, thank you so much. And which of those personal characteristics do you think that was demonstrating, sir? Which of these? Yes? Inquiry, learning new things? Cooperation, working with others?
So the photos, not curious, confused.
Yeah? So, that's a really good point though. It's like I'm a bit confused what we're meant to be showing. But these personal goals are ones that sit alongside our children's learning. Yeah? So when children are learning, and they're learning new things, as you were showing, when your child is learning these outdoor activities, etc., these characteristics sit alongside that, and these are things that help children to develop their understanding. Not just get the knowledge, not just learn the skill, but to develop a deep understanding. So when they're learning, the fact that they might be demonstrating inquiry, they might be asking questions, wanting to learn, being engaged, they're having fun. Why are they having fun? Maybe because they're communicating with others, they're cooperating with others, they're showing respect. How are they showing respect? These are the sorts of things that you, as parents, can be looking for on a day-to-day basis and supporting, because children do not spend all of their time in school. And their learning doesn't just stop when they get on the school bus and start again when they arrive in school. Their learning continues all the time. So when they come home from school and you're like, oh, what did you learn today and how was school? Remember that their learning is still continuing. It doesn't just cut off. And sometimes they may be tired, but there are other things that you could be looking for. So even when you're just out with them, if you've taken them somewhere, or if they're just at home, you could be looking and thinking about these personal learning goals. How are they developing those? And what can I do as a parent to support it? And more importantly, how can I communicate with the school? Because I could bring in a photo to the school and say, look, look what he was doing. This is demonstrating that. So there are several ways, different ways, you can engage with learning, make it more active, and therefore make it more effective. It's frozen.
Manish?
Sorry, I was just being told that I've got enough time, but it was my last slide.
Because they have to only break
It's fine. So, thank you so much for listening. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any. I know there are some more speakers to come, but thank you very much for your patience. I hope your children are really going to enjoy the learning through the IPC, and I hope you're going to enjoy watching them learn too. Thank you. Will we be having assessments? So the IPC itself uses what's called formative assessment, and it's a special way of assessing that's called assessment for learning. It's not a test. Tests can test knowledge, but they can't test skills and understanding. So there's a whole framework of a way of evaluating their skills and their understanding. So the exit point will help them demonstrate what they've learned, and both the children and the teachers will have a framework where they can assess themselves.
Formative assessment also will be there. So there will be a formative assessment.
Any other questions?
My question basically is about the whole IPC. Because first when I came to new school, from a kid to the way I was being explained about the previous news, which is ongoing now. So I found it very fascinating. It's fantastic. It's almost similar to what you have explained. So after, I don't know, after a few months, and again I came up with this IPC now. So what is that you saw in your schools is not good, and then the IPC would make it correct?
Okay, right. I do have the right question to answer. So good afternoon, everyone. My session will be at the end. I'll definitely answer your question. So can we proceed with 3DI? And yes, I'll address all the questions of the parents because why this is. So I'll talk about that. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sarah, for that very informative session. You were lovely. Okay. And I would like to congratulate Miss Srijana Pradhan and Euroschool for integrating the national curriculum with IPC. Okay. Talking in terms of 3DI, we are an institution called 3DI School from New Zealand. Can any of our parents guess the full form of 3DI? Anyone? Do we get 3D? Yes. Chocolate or something. At the end. 3DI. Parents. And parents, thank you so much for your time. I see everyone has a very tight schedule, and thank you for your time. Yes, 3DI, anyone? Perfect, please, let's clap for it. It's three-dimensional imagination, okay? So 2D, 3D. 2D, we And I'm sure everyone is aware that the call of the hour, the need of the hour is technology. Do you agree or not, parents? Yes? Your Facebook, Instagram, online shopping? Yes? Everything is about digital technology. So this is where we play a role. Okay. I promise to keep it very short, 10 to 15 minutes. Okay? Yes. So what is 3DI? Three-dimensional imagination. The curriculum has been designed in New Zealand. Although the curriculum has been designed in New Zealand, we focus on the topics that are in our national curriculum. So science, maths, English, and social studies. So it is academic. We are not diverting from the curriculum. Practical, project-based, and it is fun for the students. So we use design as the platform, and currently we are operating this program in 5 South Asian countries, namely Nepal, India, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. So I want the students of our schools here in Nepal to be the best when compared to all the 5 countries. And that is the reason we brought this program to Nepal. So how is the curriculum written? We have 3 boards here. We have the academic board advisors from New Zealand, and we have the technical experts who work on the software, and of course we have the child psychologist. Now when I talk about child psychologists, why them? Because it is them who know the child's psyche. Because we have this curriculum right from grade 1 to 12. So something that a grade 9 student is learning is different from what a grade 3 student is doing. So for each grade, we have different softwares, different technologies, used. So for one, I'll be showing you the syllabus too. So currently, this is our 2nd year, and we've been doing quite well. Right now, we are associated with 30 schools in Kathmandu itself, and you being one of them. We are already running this program from grades 6 to 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, and for this coming session, we are planning to go from 1 to 9. Okay, the aim of the program being 4 aspects: critical thinking, life skills, study skills, and media skills. Critical thinking, making the child think out of the box, to look at something from different perspectives, okay? Then we have your study skills. We actually want to, because at the end of the day, the parents are looking for grades, A+, A++, B+, right? So we are not diverting from the curriculum. At the end, we want the students to have fun with digital technology, but at the same time, score proper grades. That's why we focus on science, maths, English, and social studies. Coming to talk about your life skills, we work on a child's communication skills, presentation skills, teamwork. They do their projects working as a team. So we enhance their teamwork skills and leadership qualities and time management. We do not give them homeworks because half the time it's the parents or their elders who are assisting them. So they have to finish a certain project in the allotted time, in the classroom itself. And lastly, media skills, where by the time the child reaches grade 9, he would have learned at least 20 to 25 softwares. And when I talk about softwares, we're not only talking about softwares that are, only helpful while he's in school from grade 1 to 9. We're talking about softwares that he can use even after he finishes his masters. Okay, we are talking about, I will give you the software interfaces too. Now, as a program, what do we provide to the school and students? So, we did a research in Nepal. We did get professionals from this industry, but they are all into business. Like they've set up animation studios, filmmaking, centers, but they are all into business. We wanted people who had those technical expertise, but are also passionate about teaching. So all our trainers are from India. They are trained in the industry from India, and then we get them to impart that education to the students. We give an international certificate at the end of the course. The certification comes from New Zealand again, and it is valid wherever the child is. The child is certified as a 3DI student. Next, all the resources and materials are provided by us. So when we're talking about photography, we provide the DSLR, the tripod stand, everything. Then the softwares which they will be working on, we send the softwares with them, and they can practice the same thing at home. Okay? And we also do events for the school, wherein you can come and see what the students have been doing. Okay? Having said that, we have a stall in the library. It's the 3DI stall we've put up. But those works are done by students from grade 1 to 5 from other schools, because 1 to 5 we've not started here. Please have a look to see what the 3DI students from other schools are doing. Okay, because here we are running it only from 6 to 9. 1 to 5 students' works have been displayed in the library. Please, parents, have a look. And we also give a portfolio at the end regarding the child's outcome, project outcome, as to which projects is completed and what has he done in each project. That we submit to the parents at the end of the session. Yes? Okay, career-wise, how do we help? So students who are doing the 3DI program need not only enter the animation industry or filmmaking or graphic designing. Any career that the child chooses, it's valid. Like for instance, engineering. We have softwares. Any technical parent here was from this industry? Any parent? No? Okay. So if this child is learning a software called Google SketchUp, he can use that same software for doing his engineering task. Medical sciences. We've been studying, I'm a science student myself, we've been studying the structure of a heart or the digestive system on 2D, on plain paper. Right? Agreed? Everyone? Same school? Yes? We've been doing that all this while. Now the same 3D, the heart, if we study it in the form of a 3D model or a 3D software, it becomes very interesting because we are learning by seeing, by visualization. I'll be showing you that in a minute. Then multimedia, obviously, all movies like your Bahubali, Matrix, everything animation. Then we have architecture, where we have softwares where the students build houses. They can build Euroschool for you and give it to you. All those softwares are there with us. IT media, obviously. Next. So every field that the child wants to enter, this is relevant. It is, like it will help the child to get into any field. So how do we segregate our lessons? Grade 1 to 3, we deal with very simple topics. The child is only getting exposed to the software because they're very small, right? The mind can just take certain things. So they're only exposed to the software, and we deal with simple topics like clay animation. Then we have MyPaint, Speedy Pen, Stixi, Motion, everything in 3D. Then we have 4 to 6 where they explore the software. They get into more intermediary topics. Then we have grade 7 to 10 where they experiment. We have high-tech softwares. And then 11 and 12 is where it is expertise field. Next. Okay, some of the tools and techniques that we commonly use are these. We have mind mapping, comic strips, the bonus hat, storyboarding, and color theory, painting. Then we have stop motion filmmaking, photography, digital lighting. All these are technical terms. And we also work with Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, how do we run the session for the schools? It is a creative session of 45 minutes to 1 hour and 1 lesson per week. So which means throughout the year, after deducting the holidays, we give 40 sessions to each child. The child receives 40 sessions of our classes. Okay? So when I summarize the whole thing, what does 3DI do is it's a blend of everything. Your life skills, it complements the Nepali board curriculum, the national curriculum, and the child knows digital media. It enhances its media skills. Then we help in the child's creativity, and most importantly, it is industry relevant, which means whatever the child is studying right now is going to come into use when he grows up. Everything is career oriented. Okay? Now I would like to run a video, a short video, to show you the works of other schools from grade 1 to 5. Yes? Can I have the video? Euro School. Euro School. This is function. We have a very less of Euro because Euro has been doing 6 to 9, and this was mostly 1 to 5. Okay? Now I would like to show you the syllabus. Can we have this? This comes from New Zealand to us. We do not share this with the schools because that is our IP. We only send the topics and the softwares to Mrs. Srijana in the beginning. How is our syllabus done is, if you have a project, if for instance it is animal dwelling. So what is the session, what is the theme? We have technique. What? Now even in the arts and craft class or social studies class, they are doing animal dwelling. So how is 3DI different? Is here we're teaching them construction drawing in grade 1. So with the help of geometrical shapes, they're actually drawing. And that too by using digital media. They're using one software, one technique, and doing it on the computer. So that's how we are different. So the software here is, technique is construction drawing, tool is word filter. Yes. So what is the media skill that they're learning is drawing method, academic is science, animal life, shapes and maths, life skill is critical thinking, outcome is observation skills, and hand and eye coordination is enhanced for the child. So that's for grade 1. So in the same way we have various topics like basic needs of life, then we can put on living and non-living things. So they're using modeling, that too with clay. So even in an arts and craft class, students work with clay. Okay, but what do they do in 3D is they animate it. So they work towards clay animation. Can we go down? Okay, superheroes, they're working with digital paint. They use Microsoft Design 4. Sky, day and night, they're making a collage. All this is digital. And yes, 1, 2, 3, we have activities too. For example, if they're working on force, they do it digitally, but they're also making a working model of a windmill. Okay, so that's how we do. Can we have, these are the parents from grades 1 to 2. Can we go down? So festivals, okay, can we go down? Symmetry and patterns. Basic 6 drawing, paper and pencil, but they are understanding science. Can we go? Critical thinking and decision making developed among students. So this is how we follow. So each session is divided into 3 to 4. Each project is divided into 3 to 4 sessions. So first, so our trainer who is going to the schools cannot just come and go for a class. We have a lesson plan. They have to fulfill every requirement that is in the protocol. They are trained and they go and deliver the classes. Can we have grade 3? This is 1 and 2? Grade 1 and 2. Okay, can we have others? Okay, domestic and wild animals. They're going for modeling. Can we have something else? Stixie? Okay, fraction. How do they learn? With the help of activity and mixed material. Again, digital media involved. Next. Sources of intellect. So this is how our topics are there. We have 10 topics outlined. Fine. So 1 and 2. We'll just show you a few software interfaces of our softwares. Okay. Now this is Google's SketchUp. So if this child is learning about shapes, can we first have okay, this is just a square. Now so here he's learning about a cuboid or a rectangle, right? So if I have, can we have a 2D shape of triangle? Okay, so we know the triangle. Because on a paper, they only are able to draw the sides. But here they can, now can we have a pyramid or a cone? So, yes. So when the child is doing, so they can actually do measurements on the screen itself by looking at it from every, perspective. The horizontal, the vertical angle, horizontal angle. Okay? So in this way, what our 1, 2 will do is work on basic shapes. When they go to 3, 4, 5, they actually start calculating length, volume by measuring each steps. Okay? So this is Google SketchUp for you. Can we have the next software? Sculptors? Okay. So clay, this is digital clay for the students. Here, whatever they've studied in science, like reptiles, mammals, animals, their characters, favorite cartoon characters, they can actually make it out of digital clay. They can sculpt into it. They can make insects, dinosaurs, anything. They can even change the color, texture. So learning becomes fun, okay? Because they come to the lab and then if the science teacher is teaching them about birds or insects, they can come to the lab and create a 3D model using the software. We install the software in their lab, in their computers, and they work on it. Can I have a ladybird or something? And yes, there were questions like, students are so young, they can't even hold a mouse. How will they do this? But it is done and tested in many schools. We have schools that have been using these softwares from grade 1 to 9. So that shouldn't be a problem. And plus, students in your school are very, intelligent, they are creative, so they will manage. So they do this. What is this? He said octopus. Is that an octopus? Yes? Can you just put the plots quickly? This was done by one of the students in grade 4. Yes, this was made by grade 4 students. It's a dragon. They've done it very well. They've sculpted, they've modeled, they've put the eye. There's a lot of hard work that has gone into it. Yes. If you see this trace marks, yes, this was created by classroom students. Yes. Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next one. 2D. Let's do 2D. Yes. So if they are learning about seed germination in class, they can actually animate the whole thing. Put some music of their own. They can do the labeling. Can we have the full screen? Yes. These are done by the students. They actually animate the whole thing in science. Seed germination. And they can work on water cycle, any other seasons. It takes time. They have to learn about frames, about animation, about everything that goes into it, and create this kind of animations. Okay, let's do last one. Linda. Okay. Can we have this? Okay, these are a bit of high-tech softwares, but I'm just telling you, like, once they start understanding softwares, what is the progression when they go to higher classes? This is Blender. The students are learning about the skeleton system. So, actually, they can dissect and see every rib out there, rather than just mug up and learn from the book. This is what they're going to do. So the structure of the heart, this is in 3D, wherein we can dissect all the veins, the aorta. Okay? So learning becomes fun because I personally feel when you see something, visualize in a 3D workspace and understand, I think you can memorize it better. And then that learning stays with you for a very long time. It's not only you just don't study only for your exams and come and write it in the exams and finish. It's like it goes with you for a long time. So that is the reason we've introduced this program in the schools here in the Valley. And so parents, I would like to tell you that we are planning to do this from grades 1 to 9 for next year. And thank you, ma'am, for giving me this platform to connect with the parents directly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This video is really, really interesting.